6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Dilini Gunawardena and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. 3,000 schools with A-level subject streams will be digitized by next year. 1,000 more undergraduates will be offered the Mahapolo Scholarship during this year. Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of China meets the Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena. 9.6 billion rupees is given to farmers for paddy cultivation in the Maha season. Anura Kumara Disanayaka meets Indian Foreign Minister in Delhi. U.S. Secretary of State returns to the Middle East, that is in foreign news and in sports news. New York City is chosen to host 2026 FIFA World Cup final. Minister Susil Premajayantha says that 3,000 schools with A-level subject streams will be digitized by next year. Through this program, the children will be able to obtain the benefits of education directly through cutting-edge technology. The minister made these remarks at a function held at the Hindu College, Jaffna. He further mentioned that teachers will be trained from next month to implement this program. Smart boards will be distributed to the students as well. The minister also emphasized that everyone should be committed to upgrade the education system of the country. The relevant education officials all over the country will be informed in this regard during the next few weeks. The Director General of the Mahapolo Scholarship Fund, Parakrama Bandara, says that 1,000 additional undergraduates would be offered the Mahapolo Scholarship during this year. 16,000 undergraduates already benefit from the Mahapolo Fund. The value of the fund is 17 billion rupees. A new program will be launched to uplift the nutrition of the undergraduates. Plans are underway to establish farms in the available spaces of local universities. The Director General further mentioned that plans are afoot to increase the amount of the Mahapolo scholarship in the future. Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of China in Sri Lanka, Zhu Wangwei, met the Speaker Mahinda Abewardena at the Parliament recently. Head of the political division of the Chinese Embassy in Sri Lanka, Kin Ling Ong, also joined the event. A friendly discussion was held with the Speaker pertaining to the occasion of the traditional Chinese New Year on the 10th of February, and moreover, a statue of a dragon, which the Chinese consider a symbol of good luck, was also presented to the Speaker. Furthermore, addressing the occasion, Mr. Zhu Wanwei mentioned that he hopes to further strengthen the diplomatic relations between the two countries this year as well. He also mentioned that the year 2024 will be a challenging year for almost every country in the world. The Charge d'Affaires also extended greetings for Sri Lanka's Independence Day. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and we continue with local news. According to the Department of Agrarian Development, as of yesterday, 9.6 billion rupees has been given to farmers for agricultural activities related to paddy cultivation in the 2023-24 Maha season. Minister Mahinda Abewardena says that upon the approval of the Cabinet Ministers, measures were taken to credit the farmers' accounts for paddy cultivation in the Maha season and related agricultural activities. Accordingly, the government decided to give the money to 1.2 million farmers at the rate of 15,000 rupees per hectare. The minister inquired about the current status of farmers' concessions from the Agrarian Development Commission General AHML Aberatna. Accordingly, the Commissioner General said that an amount of 9.6 billion rupees has been credited to the farmers' accounts. He also said that 93% of the total paddy growing farmers have been credited with the 15,000 rupee allowance for agricultural activities, including the purchase of fertilizers related to paddy cultivation in the Maha season. Leader of the Janata Vimukti Perumana, Anura Kumara Disanayaka, has met with India's Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, today. During the meeting, the parties discussed the existing bilateral relationship between the two countries and the mutual benefits that could be reaped from its further deepening. Taking to X, Dr. Jaishankar added that they also spoke about Sri Lanka's economic challenges and the path ahead. The Indian minister assured that India will always be a reliable friend and trusted partner of Sri Lanka. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
The Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka has recognized the need for proactive measures to identify and address potential social media wrongdoings that may impact investors and market stability. Accordingly, the SEC has taken a significant step towards enhancing investor protection and market integrity with the launch of a dedicated web page to report suspected market-related wrongdoing on social media. This new online web page, accessible through the SEC's official website, offers a user-friendly, confidential and streamlined process for submitting information related to potential market manipulation, fraudulent activities and other securities-related misconduct. Individuals are encouraged to share information by post or to send a fax.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
We now take a look at watchlight. Several roads in the Kolopitia and Slave Island domains will be temporarily closed from today as part of a three-phase maintenance project to lay underground pipelines. According to the police, the stretch from Nava Mawata to the Slave Island railway station on Sri Uttarankanda Mawata will be closed from today until the 19th of February. As part of the second phase, the road from Perahera Mawata to Nava Mawata along Sri Uttarankanda Mawata will be closed from the 20th of February until the 4th of March. Roads in the vicinity of the Rotunda Gardens Junction and Perahera Mawata will be subsequently closed from the 5th to the 11th of March. Coming up, World News. First, the headlines. U.S. Secretary of State returns to the Middle East. The WHO says that over 1,000 wounded individuals were evacuated from Gaza through the Rafah crossing. Police and protesters clash after Senegal election postponed. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken returns to the Middle East on his fifth visit since the start of the Israeli war against Hamas in Gaza in response to the Hamas attacks in Israel last October. He faces a multitude of challenges and growing American involvement in hostilities in the region. At the top of his agenda will be difficult talks for a deal to allow the release of more than 100 hostages who remain in captivity in Gaza and pause in hostilities for the delivery of much-needed humanitarian aid for civilians in the territory. The World Health Organization says that 1,243 medical cases have evacuated from Gaza to Egypt through the Rafah border crossing, including a number of those wounded in Israeli attacks. At least 1,025 other Palestinians accompanied the patients as medical chaperones. The head of the WHO, Tedros Ghebreyesus, has previously pointed to reports from the organization's employees in the Gaza Strip that indicate that the risk of famine is increasing every day in Gaza's hospitals. Police made arrests and fired tear gas as opposition supporters protested President Macky Sall's decision to postpone elections in Senegal. Clashes erupted on Sunday as federal lawmakers prepared to debate a bill to formalize the delay of the February 25th vote. Demonstrations rallied in the capital Dakar after leading opposition figures and candidates in the presidential election rejected Saturday's announcement and called on the citizens to defend democracy. Ahead of the postponement, Senegal has already been embroiled in political tensions as the disqualification of two opposition candidates had triggered deadly clashes. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. U.S. Secretary of State returns to the Middle East. The WHO says that over 1,000 wounded were evacuated from Gaza through the Rafah crossing. Police and protesters clash after Senegal election postponed. That ends this bulletin of world news. On to development news. Hong Kong's home carrier Cathay Pacific's much-awaited direct flights between Sri Lanka and Hong Kong are officially back following a 4-year hiatus, resuming a legacy of serving the Sri Lankan market for over 30 years. The first flight from the Bandaranaike International Airport successfully took off recently, marking the return of Cathay Pacific's 3 times weekly service from Colombo, operating on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. Flights are operated by the airline's Airbus A330 aircraft, and that was development news.
moving on with sports news.
New York City's MetLife Stadium will host the grand finale of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, beating out Dallas in a heated competition. This culminates in a 48-team tournament co-hosted by the USA, Canada and Mexico. The journey kicks off on the 11th of June at Mexico City's iconic Azteca Stadium, marking the first time a venue hosts World Cup games in 3 editions. FIFA President Gianni Infantino declared this World Cup will be the most inclusive and impactful ever, highlighting the 104 matches across 16 state-of-the-art stadiums in all 3 countries. Atlanta and Dallas will host the semi-finals, while Miami takes the third-place match. Quarter-finals will be spread across Los Angeles, Kansas City, Miami and Boston. That was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Dialog Axiata PLC, in collaboration with Samsung Sri Lanka, announced the launch of the all-new Galaxy S24 series at an exclusive event held at the Dialog Auditorium on the 2nd of February that was attended by Club Vision loyalty members, pre-order customers and Dialog Enterprise customers. The event marked a significant milestone where Dialog customers were able to pre-order the device for the first time in Sri Lanka.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Minister Mahinda Amarveera states that upon the approval of the Cabinet Ministers, measures were taken to credit the farmers' accounts for paddy cultivation in the Maha season and related agricultural activities. According to the Department of Agrarian Development, as of yesterday, 9.6 billion rupees has been given to the farmers.
Weather report.
Finally, we take a look at the weather report. Prevailing showery conditions are expected to be reduced in the western, Sabaragamu Central, southern Uva and the eastern provinces from tomorrow onwards. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Sabaragamu province and in the Kaluthara, Galle and Mathura districts after 2 p.m. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere in the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts during the morning hours. That ends this evening's news broadcast. To end it, the headlines again. 300 schools with A-level subject streams will be digitized by next year. 1,000 more undergraduates would be offered the Mahapola Scholarship during this year. Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of China meets the Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena. 9.6 billion rupees is given to farmers for paddy cultivation in the Maha season. Anura Kumara meets Indian Foreign Minister in Delhi. In foreign news, U.S. Secretary of State returns to the Middle East, and in sports news, soccer. New York City is chosen to host 2026 FIFA World Cup final. That ends this evening's news broadcast.